News 3 this morning is sponsored by Hampton University Proton Cancer Institute. Research, advocacy, and access.
WTKR News 3 this morning starts now.
And now on News 3 at 6, controversial speaker at an event at the Sheraton Hotel now says he is not coming to town. We've got the reason behind his change as neighbors are expressing concern.
Plus new details on what led up to police shooting an 18-year-old and the charges he now faces. And meteorologist Miles Henderson tracking wet weather for your weekend. He has the timing so you can adjust your weekend plans and maybe avoid those storms because there's so much happening outside over the next few days. Miles, weather is certainly very important. Yeah, it sure is. We'll get to Connor and traffic in a moment. But Miles, let's start with you. Rain and then the humidity too. That was the first thing I noticed when I stepped out the door.
Yeah, definitely on the muggy side, and we have some showers that are exiting this morning, so still a little bit gloomy out there. Some clouds, a little bit of fog. So you see a few showers up towards the eastern shore there. May have some drizzle for your morning drive and maybe still some wet roads left over. Big picture, you can see a lot of that activity moving off over the Atlantic.
News 3 this morning is sponsored by Hampton University Proton Cancer Institute. Research, advocacy, and access.
WTKR News 3 this morning starts now.
New details this morning on that man shot by beach police outside a storage facility. What we're now learning from court documents about the charges he faces and what happened at his first court appearance. Plus,
there is a big update to a controversial event happening at this hotel in Norfolk this weekend. I'm News 3 reporter Cole Thranstad, and I'll tell you about that update.
It's 8 o'clock on News 3 this morning. I'm Blaine Stewart, and we start this half hour with new details on that shooting involving a Virginia Beach police officer and an 18-year-old. Sean Marler was arraigned in court yesterday, appearing on video from his hospital bed. The 18-year-old shot, court documents say, after he pointed a gun at someone and tried to climb a fence at a storage facility at the Haygood Shopping Center.
News 3 at noon is sponsored by Hampton University Proton Cancer Institute. Research, advocacy, and access.
WTKR News 3 at noon starts now.
And now on News 3 at noon, we are live here in downtown Norfolk, home of the 49th annual Harbor Fest, which is just getting underway now. We have live team coverage from here on the shore, as well as on the sailboats that are coming in for the big parade of sail. Our Gabrielle Harmon, she is live on the ship right now. We're going to get to her in just a couple of minutes. And while she's out there navigating the Elizabeth River, our Connor Hollingsworth is helping all you landlubbers navigate the roads if you're planning on coming to the festival this weekend. And you know, this isn't the only big event happening right now. We got to talk about the National Sand Soccer Championships kicking off at the Virginia Beach oceanfront. We are taking a live look over there of the resort area. Dry right now, so good news, but our forecaster Dara Getter is tracking potential rain chances for the weekend. Now, with all that being said, my name is Anthony Sabella, and welcome to this special edition of News 3 at noon. Beautiful Town Point Park in downtown Norfolk, once again, site of the 49th annual Harbor Fest. This is the largest free maritime festival of its kind in the country, and so we're so excited to have it back here. We've got a weekend packed with events happening. As I mentioned right off the top here, the festival is beginning with the Parade of Sail, but there are several other events happening through the weekend, including a drone show tonight and the big fireworks show tomorrow. We've got details coming up in this next half hour on all of that if you plan on coming down here to downtown Norfolk. But we need the weather to cooperate, don't we? It's beautiful right now, but we have been tracking some rain chances as we've forecasted through the week. Let's bring in forecaster Dara Getter, who's back in the News 3 studios, keeping track of those rain chances. And Dara, as I mentioned, gorgeous right now. We'd love for it to stay that way.
It's looking pretty good for the most part outside. We have a couple of pokes of blue out there. We are looking at pretty humid conditions, so temperatures in the 70s, near 80 degrees today, but dew points in the 70s, so that's pretty stuffy.
News 3 at 4 is sponsored by Huffman & Huffman, the family to call when you've been injured.
WTKR News 3 at 4 starts now.
And now on News 3 at 4, we are live from Norfolk's Town Point Park, site of the 49th annual Harbor Fest. We have team coverage of all the happenings through the weekend, starting with our Gabrielle Harmon's journey on the Parade of Sail earlier today. And if you landlubbers are driving down here at all tonight or later this weekend, you're going to want to know the detours. Traffic anchor Connor Hollingsworth is helping you navigate those and offering some ways to get around it all. And then 18 miles east of here is another major event this weekend, the National Sand Soccer Championships. We're taking a live look over the Virginia Beach oceanfront where we have heat and sun today, but storm chances through the weekend. We're going to break down when it's good to be outdoors and when you'll want to take it inside. But first, I want to welcome you to this special edition of News 3 at 4. My name is Anthony Sabella. As I mentioned, we are live down here at Town Point Park in downtown Norfolk for the 49th annual Harbor Fest. This is the country's largest, longest running free maritime festival. This is a big deal. We are expecting tens of thousands of people down here through the weekend, and there is so much going on.
News 3 at 5 is sponsored by Huffman & Huffman, the family to call when you've been injured.
Right now, HarborFest celebrations taking over the Norfolk waterfront. Tonight, we're live with the festivities as the weekend gets underway.
Then, a neighborhood landmark celebrating a milestone. We head to the Virginia Beach oceanfront ahead of the celebration to see what the spot means to our community.
Plus, veterans speaking out about controversial speakers linked to an annual reunion event.
What the group's leader is saying about the views shared on social media.
WTKR News 3 at 5 starts now.
The weekend is here and a big celebration is taking over the downtown Norfolk waterfront.
Oh yes, Harbor Fest is back with fun events scheduled all weekend long. And our anchor Anthony Sabella has the pleasure of joining us live, enjoying all things Harbor Fest on this Friday afternoon.
All right, so Anthony, we will get to you in just a moment, but first we want to check in on our weekend weather conditions for Harbor Fest and all other outside events. It's been a muggy afternoon, but at least the festival goers aren't dealing with any rain for now. But the first warning storm team is tracking the threat of severe weather this weekend.
So let's bring in our chief meteorologist, David Aldrich, joining us now with this evening's forecast and what we can expect for the rest of the weekend.
Well, Jessica and Kurt, first things first, tonight's going to be fine. I know there's some storms northwest of Richmond, but we should be fine. They will fall apart as they move into somewhat drier air. But take a look at these four pictures. I mean, we've got Colonial Williamsburg, downtown Norfolk, Chesapeake Bay, the ocean front. I mean, we're talking soccer on the sand. Who thought of that?
News 3 at 6 is sponsored by Huffman & Huffman, the family to call when you've been injured.
Right now, News 3 investigators exposing the past of a former teacher who sits in jail.
New at 6, local school leaders finally responding to our questions about how this teacher's career came to an end.
Then honoring the lives of local fallen firefighters.
The memories that I'll miss with him are the hardest.
Tonight, how the community is gathering in remembrance.
Plus, monumental giants waiting for a presidential facelift.
What we hope is approval, that we'll be able to prepare the site.
New at 6, I'm following through on the future for these historic heads.
WTKR News 3 at 6 starts now.
And now at 6, we kept asking why a teacher was allowed to retire instead of being terminated. And now the Virginia Beach School Division is providing some insight into the issue.
Investigative reporter Margaret Kavanaugh started asking questions about this former gym teacher at the end of 2023.
For years, I've investigated dozens of cases where teachers lose their licenses due to bad behavior.
Hello, I'm Angela Bohan. Thank you for watching News 3. Here's what we're working on this Friday evening.
Of cases where teachers lose their licenses due to bad behavior. Joseph Molyneux's name was on that list. In April, he's accused of going to Kempsville High School with weapons in his car and making a threat. Then police say they found child porn in his house. WTKR uncovered that there were 5 letters of reprimand in which school leadership call his behavior, quote, unprofessional and disturbing on several occasions.
WTKR News 3 at 10 starts now.
For years, I've investigated dozens of cases where teachers lose their licenses due to bad behavior. Joseph Molyneux's name was on that list.
Right now, remembering the lives of local fallen firefighters.
Missing the memories that could have been.
Now at 11, how the community is embracing a firefighter's widow as she shares her story of loss.
Right now, the coastal low is pulling away, but there's another front that will trigger more severe weather this weekend. Find out the latest straight ahead.
Plus, a fight bringing crowds to the Scope Arena canceled the night before the big match. Tonight at 11, why a local legend is losing his title.
WTKR News 3 at 11 starts now.
We begin with breaking news tonight in Norfolk, where a scheduled boxing match goes from a title fight to canceled in the course of about 7 hours. Thanks for joining us on News 3 at 11. I'm Angela Bohan. News 3 Sports Director Mark Davis has been following this story all day and joins us in studio now. And Mark, I know there are some shocked fans throughout the 7 cities tonight.
Yeah, Angela, that's being announced in April. The Norfolk community fired up for the Davis brothers to return to Scope with Keyshawn's first title defense headlining. Tonight, that main event has been called off, taking a good bit of steam out of fight night. Davis's scheduled fight against Edwin De Los Santos has been canceled for tomorrow night. Top Rank announcing this evening. The businessman, 4 pounds overweight during this afternoon's weigh-in.
One last event we want to tell you about before we leave and before you make your weekend plans. In Portsmouth, the 46th Seawall Music Festival continues tomorrow at High Street Landing. In addition to performances, there will be games and also a bounce house for the kids. It does start at 2 o'clock and ends at 9:30, just in time to catch the Harbor Fest fireworks from across the Elizabeth River. It's all free, but David, I know you said you want to watch out for some storms possibly.
Yeah, let's take a look. I'm watching. This is like 2 o'clock. This is just a projection, but tell me, is it getting better or worse? That's 4 o'clock. And that's 6 o'clock, oh, 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock looks really rough when you're talking about storms for anywhere from Norfolk all the way down to Duck. And some of these could have some damaging wind and hail. So please be mindful. It will get better in time for fireworks, but there's going to be some unsettled weather tomorrow.
So have a contingency plan where you might go for that.
Go to box.
Wise.
Go to
it's
box.
wise.
Go to boxing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us. Have a great night.
Bye-bye.
Congratulations to WTKR News 3 on your 75th anniversary.